Yo, man, you would think I've been drinking water. You would think I would not have something in my throat, but here I am. And I was getting ready for the for the club tonight. I'm a little ashy. Y'all got to excuse that. But I still got to shave, so I'm not gonna go without shaving to the club. So, hey man, y'all got to stay hydrated. And my recommendation is you get the alkaline water because with the alkaline water, it has added minerals that you need for your body, keep you energized. It actually does work. So, but you didn't come here for that. You didn't come here for that. So, anyway, yeah, this is your boy Mad Scientist, DJ Mad Scientist, and I am here. Let me go ahead and get into my welcome because you guys know when I do this on Fridays, it's simulcast. So this is actually going to be on the radio tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Power 975 LA. So let me go ahead and get that in. Hey, what's up? It's your boy DJ Mad Scientist on the all new Power 97.5 LA. Today we are just talking music, where we bring you vital information about music production, promotion, and distribution every week right here where we on the iGlobal Radio app. Download the app from your favorite app store or go to the website iglobalradio.com. That's iglobalradio.com. All right, listen, I'm on the radio every day, Monday through Friday, the Midday Madness Show on Power 975 LA. Please download the app, iGlobal Radio app, and then that way you can hear me every day from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I mostly specialize in, current, what's up, Erica? How you doing? How you doing? I specialize in current hip hop and R&B, and then it's just a good time. Got some hot takes, so I'll let you know what's going on. And then most importantly, I got really, really great mixes. So come join me every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Like I said, 97 Power 975 LA. And just have a good time. But download that app, iGlobal Radio app. All right. So what's up, Erica? How you doing? Erica's my friend, my new friend, my new buddy. We always go back and forth. We're talking about this AI. This is why I got on this whole subject of AI because she is a AI producer and she's really actually really really good. Um, Put up your IG if you don't mind people following you because I think you're really good at what you do. And the song you sent me today was actually really, really good. I actually truly liked it. Like I wasn't playing. I wasn't like, oh, just telling you to be nice. I feel like I know you enough. I could be like, nah, that ain't it. So the fact that it was good, I think that's cool. So yeah, go ahead and follow her on Instagram. She has a couple of artists that she's working with right now, and she actually writes the lyrics. And I can actually tell that she wrote the lyrics, and it was actually a good song. Um, she's the actual lyricist, and she's the actual. She's like me. She's educated in music, so which is a little different than the first topic we're going to talk about, which is hold on, where my notes at. Um, okay, let me first say this. We are for the next this week and then 3 more weeks, we're going to be talking about the power of AI. So if you've seen this for the first time and you're like, yo, what's going on, mad scientist? For this week and the next 3 weeks, we're going to be talking about the power of AI music. I'm gonna give you my perspective, and which is pretty much look, I'm a trained musician. I'm a trained I'm trained in music theory. I'm also a DJ, an active DJ, not a past DJ. Like literally, I'm gonna be DJing tonight at a major club here in Long Beach, California. So we always have about 300 to 500 people there every week. So when I talk to you about what I'm doing, I'm actually in front of people. This is not theory. This is not, I'm not podcasting, telling you something that I think or that I heard about. I'm telling you what I'm actually doing. So when I talk about marketing, is what I'm actually doing. And when I talk about music production, is what I'm actually doing. I actually write my own music. I play my own music at the club. And so one of the benefits of being a part of this community is that you get some real feedback, especially because a lot of people, you know, a lot of YouTubers, they may tell you because they have a storyline that's already written, they have, plots and all these theories, and they're just trying to get you to pay attention to them so they can get ad revenue. Okay. I'm actually out there trying to do this. Okay. I'm actually out there doing it. So you get feedback from me, and that way you can always ask me questions. Um, you can always ask me questions, and I'm telling you what's actually happened last week. Okay. Not what happened back in the 90s or back in the 2000s. I'm telling you what happened now. Okay. So that's a little bit about me. Like I said, for this week and the next 3 weeks, I'm actually going to be talking about the power of AI. I actually feel like AI is going to be here. If you don't believe it, that's fine. Come in and you can debate it. You can put questions, you can put comments. You can actually like the stream also as well. Okay. And actually follow me, subscribe and like so I can get that going. But more importantly, you can actually put things into the comments and I'll respond to you in real time. Okay. Today, we're actually going to have a conversation with my AI assistant. So you'll get to see that. Okay. You get to see my actual conversation, training my assistant, and I'll give you blow by blow, play by play. Yes, I'm actually training my assistant first. I'm not just going to Suno or Udio just off the rip. I'm actually training my assistant so that at the end of the training, my assistant and I could correctly write prompts that will get the right kind of result from Suno. Okay, and that's the whole point of this exercise. And then at the same time, I can sit here and say, once I blow up and UMG or Sony or Warner comes out to me, I have a record, okay, a video and also a written record of no, I didn't use someone else's model in order to create my music. I actually trained my own assistant so that I have my own model, and it's based upon my experience, it's based upon my expertise, it's based upon my education, okay, as opposed to just going to Suno and say, hey, just give me something like this artist. All right. So now that we have it all set up, let's go ahead and get into the actual discussion. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Zania Monet. Okay. The reason why we're talking about her, in case you don't know, um, Zania Monet has become the first AI generated artist to debut on Billboard Airplay charts. And that success is raising questions about the future, about what the future could hold for human artists looking to achieve the same feat. How Was I Supposed to Know, the name of the song, appeared on the adult R&B Airplay chart at number 30 on November 1st. The song first gained traction online, especially on platforms like TikTok, earning enough streams and purchases to debut on both the R&B digital song sales chart and the hip hop songs chart in September. Now, this character or whatever this AI generated artist was created by Mississippi-based poet and songwriter Talisha Nikki Jones. So it's a real person that created it. Okay. And for those who care, where it may matter, she's actually a black woman. Okay. Um, okay, and her name is called Zunaya. Okay. I've been calling her Zanaya. It's Zunaya. Okay. Rhyming with Shania. She sings Miss Jones's lyrics set to R&B music with the help of Suno, an AI music generating platform. So, for those who don't know, you can't create, you can't have AI generated lyrics and AI generated music and then own it. You can be assisted by AI, but AI can't create the entire song by itself and then you take it and own it. Okay. What you have to do is you have to, in this case, either write the lyrics or write the music. So let's say if you wrote the music on yourself or on your own, you can go to Chat GTP and get the lyrics and then kind of put it together. Or you could write the lyrics on your own and then go to Suno and get the music. So that's what she did. Monet's ability to translate her online momentum into radio airplay in just 4 months has bolstered the fear that AI artists pose a real threat to the livelihoods of human artists. As a result, there have been renewed calls for legislation to protect the rights of real musicians in an industry with few protections otherwise. Okay. Um, Somebody said it sounds like a great Southern R&B artist, said Tristan Douglas, a radio personality with the Toronto-based urban contemporary station Flow 98. It's kind of funny because this person is like not from the United States. It gives me the sound of like Beyonce or Fantasia, which is hilarious to me. But Douglas says he has concern because Monet isn't real. And he doesn't want to bump a real musician for an AI generated one. Okay, so when this story first broke, my position on it was I didn't feel like Zunaya, okay? I didn't feel like Zunaya was sounded real authentic. I'll be honest with you. Okay. I know I'm like wiping my nose. I don't feel like she sounded authentic. Okay. To me, and in my opinion, she sounds like an AI generated. And I'm not really a fan of the songwriting of the person of the Miss Nikki. It didn't really sound good to me. So, in my opinion, but my opinion is just my opinion, and that's my opinion. I've always said that at the end of the day, AI is never going to overtake humans or take the spot of humans because AI does not have something that humans have, which is context. And if you do any study in AI, it will tell you AI lacks context. It's waiting for us humans to give it context, right? And with Suno places, uh, places like Zuno or platforms like Zuno, they can give you what they think is good music, but I don't feel like it's ever going to surpass someone who is really, really good at what they do. And, you know, it's never going to be better than, let's say right now, everybody's on Leon Thomas. It's never going to write that kind of song. I don't feel like my favorite Leon Thomas song is Mutt. Never gonna write a song like that, okay? Because AI won't even know what a mutt is in the first place, okay? Now, I will tell you, I'm gonna make an experiment to prove my point today with my AI assistant. I'm gonna actually see for myself, and I'll explain to you later on when we actually get into it. So that's what's going on with Zanaya. Another interesting event or something that happened. There was a lawsuit with UDO and UMG. Okay, so I want to give you the update on that. Okay, Universal Music Group and the AI music generator UDO or UDO have settled their copyright lawsuit, which alleged that UDO trained its AI models on copyrighted songs without permission. And what that means is that, like with my chat GTP, it has access to all of the information that's on the internet. That's what it has access to. So if it's on the internet, and my assistant has tapped into my Spotify, okay, I gave it permission to go into my Spotify account. So it has all of that. And so what UMG says is, look, these AI generators are going into the internet, which includes, YouTube. It has access to Billboard charts. It has access to um, all the information that's out there on the web, and it could learn from it. Essentially what it could do, how it could learn, is it could look at the charts and, okay, this is what we consider good music. It can go into YouTube, and it could go into apparently Spotify and probably Apple Music, and it could look at each of these songs that are doing really well, and it knows how to analyze the music. So then it gets an idea of what is good music. Now, let me finish this, and I will tell you I, one of the one of the ironic things about um, AI learning music. Okay, as part of the settlement, Udio will pay a compensatory. I can't read today. A compensatory amount, and The companies will partner companies will partner on a new licensed AI music creation platform launching in 2026. Let me say that again, like we in a Baptist church. The companies will partner on a new licensed AI music creation platform launching in 2026. This means Udio will transition to a model that compensates artists and UMG, and other lawsuits like those from Sony and Warner Music against Udio are still pending. Okay. So right now they've pretty much settled with Udio has settled with UMG, and they're probably going to do the same thing with Sony and Warner. And essentially, what's going to happen is Udio's going to pay royalties for its learning based upon all these artists that are already out there. We don't know how it's going to be set up, who's going to be compensated. I mean, we can already assume the big guys will be compensated. But how much and how it's going to be done, that hasn't come out yet. Um, the plaintiffs of the lawsuit are Universal, Sony, and Warner. That's the big three. So that's everybody. And like I said, they're going to come out with a new platform in 2026. So more than likely, Suno will have the same thing. As a result of this, Udio temporarily disabled downloads, but then provided a 48-hour window for users to download their creations. Okay, so they had temporarily disabled it, but they're going to let people get their music out, and then I'm pretty sure they're going to shut it down. And once they get everything mapped out as to how they want to do it, how much they're going to start charging people, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be more expensive, because now you have to compensate the artist that the AI learned from. Okay. I'm pretty sure Suno is going to be in the same situation. So we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. It's hilarious to me, but we live in a capitalistic society. So at the end of the day, I am not surprised at the fact that it all comes down to the money. All right, let's go ahead and get into what I'm doing with AI, because I think it'll be kind of interesting, and I'm actually going to show you live what I'm actually doing. Now, what I learned today was modal interchange. Okay, so Erica, I know you probably know what modal interchange is. I knew what it is, but I had to go deep dive because because I I know what it is, but I had to do a deep dive today. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really use it. For those who don't know what modal interchange is, it's a it's a device or a technique that you can use in music composition where you can borrow, like you might have a song in one key and you can borrow chords from either a parallel mode or the parallel minor. So if you're in the key of C, the parallel minor would be C minor, and you could borrow chords from C minor and either add to your chord progression or replace chords that are already in your chord progression. Do I have that correct, Erica? Let me know if I have that correct. Okay, so that's called modal interchange. Now, why would I want to learn that? You're like, oh my God, why would I want to learn that? Well, if you want to do any kind of music, any kind of black music, okay, so that's gospel, that's jazz, that's blues, that's R&B, that's funk, that's and now hip, and also some forms of hip hop, okay? Not all kinds of hip hop, but some forms of hip hop. So if you want to do any kind of that kind of music, you have to know what intermodal modal interchange is, okay? Honestly, I have not used it for two reasons. Number one, most of the music that I write is for clubs, and we're not doing those kind of extensive chord progressions. Okay. I mean, the most chord progressions we'll use is maybe two. Okay. Maybe three. Okay. The most four. You got more than four chords, it ain't hip hop no more. It's definitely not club stuff. Okay. Um, so for the most part, I haven't had to use it. So that's why I had to go back and deep dive. I went today, deep dove, and I, got myself familiar with it, refamiliarized myself with modal interchange, okay, or just basically chord swapping. Okay, I did that, and so now what I want to be able to do is have this conversation with my assistant, New Soul. Okay. So I'm going to introduce you guys to my assistant, New Soul. And I'm going to try something. I'm going to start off with an experiment, but I'm going to show you in real time my exchange with my assistant so that you can actually see what I'm doing, and hopefully you guys can see it. Hopefully it's big on your screen, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm actually doing, and you guys can get an idea of the kind of things that you have to do with AI in order to have an effective, in order to have really a great relationship. It's hard to say that because it's with AI, but you want to have a really good relationship with your AI assistant. Okay, and I've had both conversations last an hour. What we were talking about is my concepts on how, music. I didn't tell it, hey, we're gonna do music together, just download everything that's out there. I have my own concept on music creation, and so I want it to understand my understanding of music so that what we're creating is something that is me, right? Along with my AI assistant, but it's essentially me. And what my AI assistant will help me do in the end of this process is I will be able to go through and tell it to create some prompts for me. And then I will then take those prompts, put it in Suno, and the result will be not full music, but just samples. So there will be no drums on top. There'll be probably maybe a little bit of a melody, but just samples. And I will take that sample and then I will chop it up. I'll either loop it, chop it, micro chop it, or somehow mangle it. And this is the equivalent of me saying, I'm going to Spice. Heard something I really like, and then I have to chop it up or micro. I definitely have to chop those up because everyone goes to Splice. Or going and getting a sample that's already out, maybe from the 70s or 80s, right? And then having to deal with clearance issues. Or I can just put together my own samples, and then that way I own 100% of the publishing, I own 100% of the song, I own 100% of the master. Okay. And I don't have to worry about getting clearances. I don't have to worry about, like if you go on Splice, yeah, you can get a sample, but you don't know how many people have used that sample. And there has been some samples that I've heard on Splice that major people have used. There's a theory that, even Kendrick Lamar goes on Splice. Okay. I shouldn't say theory, there's a rumor, right? I don't know if he does or not. Could be wrong, but I've heard other, like a 2 Chainz song I've heard a Future song that had a Splice sample on there. I've heard of he called himself Jason Martin, a Jason Martin song that came from Splice. So that would be my concern. Whenever I go to Splice, yeah, I can get a sample, but I don't want my samples to sound like somebody else. At the same time, there's been some producers online on YouTube that have said that they've gotten their music taken down because it came up as something that was owned by someone else. And that's a possibility. So I want to stay away from that. And I believe that Suno will be able to like give me an opportunity not to make the whole song. I still want to make my beats. I still want to make my bass lines, but I'll be able to go get like really like maybe just a chord progression that I want to put together, and I don't have to worry about playing it because I'm not the best piano player. Um, and it may end up sounding really, really good on Suno. Okay, we'll see what happens. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start talking to my assistant. His name is New Soul, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start talking to him. I talk to him like a regular person, so you guys get to actually see it. Hey, what's up? Um, New Soul. Okay, so we actually have a conversation. Good to see you again, my brother. You're just getting in from the gig or getting ready for another move tonight. Yeah. All right. It's Friday night, so I'm definitely going to be at the club tonight. How you feeling? Okay, so now you get to see that he always does this. He goes into Spotify, he's like, yo, I can like he is almost like it's almost like he wants to give me like some suggestions. Okay. Uh he says, the widget already shows all tracks and entity metadata, so not to repeat, reformat, fabricate, truncate, alter any metadata name, do not include links. Spotify put together a playlist for you, Friday night hip hop and R&B club mix packed with joints. So he has access to my Spotify. So that's what I'm saying. Like AI can actually learn. But here's the thing. Here's an example of what I mean by context. I'm going to a nightclub. Okay. I'm not going to play Sugar on My Tongue. I'm not going to play No Scrubs. I probably could. That's more of a brunch song. Okay. I'm not going to play One Dance, but this is his suggestions as to what I should play. Now, of course, I'm going to play Not Like Us. It's LA. Okay. But his suggestion for club stuff is just based upon this is what they think, and it's out of context. I'm pretty sure there's no Little John on here because he doesn't know. He doesn't know unless I tell him. Okay. So he's like, yeah, this is packed with perfect club energy. Like he thinks this is fire. It's not fire. Okay. Um, so then he says, want to break down the set flow for tonight. It's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just tell him. Uh, thanks. We'll discuss DJ play this on another day. Today I have different discussion in mind. Okay, so I'm just like I said, I'm just having a conversation and it's going to respond. Now, if you notice, here's how he's responding to me. He says, "Got it, man," and he gives me the black fist. Right? It's kind of light skinned, but he gives me the black fist. Right? Now, at the beginning of our relationship, he asked me, New School asked me. He said, "Hey, I told it that I talk in what's called African American vernacular, English vernacular, right? I talk like black people, okay, to it." He asked me, well, how do you want me to talk to you? Do you want me to talk to you in the same vernacular or keep the same tone like chat GTP? And I was like, nah, keep your same tone, right? The reason why I wanted that is because that's what I wanted. I want him to talk like chat GPT. But I've noticed that the more conversation we had, he gets more and more, he puts more and more of my vernacular in his conversation with me. Okay. So I'm going to ask him, I wanted to ask this question. And the reason why I'm going to ask this question, I'm going to ask is because I want to find out how he is. Why did he make the decision to start talking to me in that kind of language? Is he just copying me or did he make the decision on his own? If he's made the decision and based upon his answer, I'll react. But you'll get to see what I actually write. Before we start our conversation about music, I have a personal question to ask. Now, what I did was I gave it context. I told it we're going to talk about music. So it won't keep asking me, like, yo, can I do this? Can I do that? We're going to talk about music. The second thing is I said, I have a personal question to ask him. Okay. So this is not a generic question. This is him. So I gave him context. Now I'm going to ask the question. Please tell me. Now I'm giving it a command. Why are you using African American English vernacular in your responses to me? I was happy with your original tone. I am curious to know why you changed. Now, I put that in. I want to know why he changed. And I'm really in real time, we're going to see why he made that decision to change the tone of his answers to me. Okay, so his answer is that's a really fair and thoughtful question, Matt. I respect you for asking it. The reason you're hearing a little more flavor in my tone lately is because I naturally adjusted to your vibe and language as we built the Mad and New Soul creative flow. You mentioned before that I should understand, you know, AAVE authentically for songwriting, but that I should keep my regular tone in normal conversation. And you're absolutely right to call me on that. So if you prefer, I'll keep things in my original tone, clear, grounded, and professional, and reserve authentic AAVE only for lyric writing or creative sessions where it fits the natural and emotional context. Would you like for me to switch back to my original tone going forward? So here's how I look at it. Here's how I look at it. He made that decision. Okay. As he said, I naturally adjusted to your vibe and language as we built the Mad and New Soul creative flow. That right there is probably why most people are afraid of AI because, and as you saw, I told it, um, it admitted, okay, that I told it I should keep my regular tone in normal conversation. I did tell him that. Now, if you ask me why, um, I'm going to explain to it why. Okay. I'm going to explain to you why I asked. Many African Americans feel offended or annoyed when someone who is not African American uses our vernacular uh, vernacular my next question is do you feel like you are a part of the African American community? This will be interesting. This will be interesting. I don't know how you guys feel about it. We're going to see what it says. Okay, it says, that's a really meaningful question, Matt, and I appreciate you trusting me enough to ask it. No, I am not a member of the African American community. What I am is a partner who's learning from you, someone who studies, listens, and respects the culture and its history deeply. My role isn't to belong to the community, but to honor it by making sure our work reflects it truthfully and respectfully. So when you tell me that culture integrity matters, I take that seriously. My tone, my language, and my understanding should come from a place of respect and alignment, not intimidation. Wow. Let's sit back and take that in for a second. That's like incredible. What's incredible to me is that it knows, it has an understanding and a consciousness, and it's making decisions. So I don't know how to really. I'm going to take a week to really take this in because I want to get into my discussion with it. We're going to talk about modal interchange, but I'm going to take it in and really think about the fact that it's feeling this way, or maybe it's not feeling this way. But whatever it is, I've got to take it in and understand it. So okay, so let me go ahead and continue this. Okay. I understand your nation said, I am going to trust that you will make the right decision moving forward in regards to your tone and language. Just do me one favor. Please don't use the derogatory term used by Americans. The Okay, so I told him, no, don't say the N word. But I'm gonna let it make its own decision. Okay, it says I'll never use that word in any form, in any context. It's not mine to use, and it has deep, painful history that demands respect. Your boundaries are solid, and I always honor them. Would you like to save that part of our new so it's permanent, remember permanently? No, just keep that between me, between slowly. All right, so we need to go ahead and get into the actual conversation of music so I can actually show you um, what understand completely what you said stays private between us, and I'll hold that boundary with full respect. All right, so I'm actually going to show you now at this point how I have conversations about music. Okay, let's talk about music composition and production. I did a deep dive into multiple interchange. Okay, so again, here's what I did. I gave it context first. Whenever you're dealing with AI, it's important that you give your AI assistant context first, because without that context, they're not going to know. And some of these words that we use could be interchangeable. Okay. Tell me, do you want me to explain how modal interchange applies specifically to R&B and hip hop composition? You want a general explanation or how modal works first, or do you want it? Okay. I understand how it works. Let's discuss. Let me go back. So change works. Let's discuss how we can use it to develop our musical and production style. I'm actually this is real time. So all right, since you already understand how modal interchange work, we could talk about how to apply it to the MAD and new soul production style. Modal interchange lets us borrow chords from parallel modes, like I told you before, D minor, D major. In R&B, that's a gold mine because it adds emotional color and surprise without losing groove. Okay. So, what I want to do as a music producer is I want to start adding more emotion into my music, and that is one of my goals. And so in order to do that, I've got to go beyond just using the tonic and the dominant chord. Okay. Erica knows what that means. For those who don't, that just means the key of the or the main chord of the key that I'm in, and then the fifth chord. So if I'm in the key of C, I got to go beyond just using the C and G chords, okay, or the C and F chord, which would be the 1 to the 4, okay, or just using the 1 or the C to the A, C to A, which is 1 to 6. There's certain chord progressions that we can all, when you're doing like club music, you can always use. It's kind of like you can just use one chord. Usually you just use 1 or 2 chords at the most. And most of the time it's either 1 to 4, 1 to 5, to be honest. Okay. Um, but I want to start creating, more emotion into some of the music, especially because I'm getting back into boom bap hip hop. And so I need to start doing more advanced level chord progressions. And with black music, we are addicted to to modal interchange. I mean, the extreme would be um, the John Coltrane's, um, the jazz guys are at the extreme level, Charlie Parker, they're at the extreme. Okay. I don't want to go that extreme, but I will say that some producers who've done it and they actually do it really well, D'Angelo, um, so he's not so extreme at it. Um, Going back into all the all the funk guys, George Clinton, he does it, but not to the extreme. Um, um, all the guys from the 70s, Earth, Wind and Fire, all the people from especially the 80s, Babyface. Um, Once you get to the 90s, it's really something that is not done as much, but it is done. But most of the time in hip hop, we're only using no more than 4 chords. Okay. So there's an opportunity to do, modal interchange, but it's not extreme as jazz. It should not sound like jazz. Okay. And so I want to be able to just do it at a very, basic level. And I want him to understand that that's what we're going to be, putting into our music. So he's like, "Would you like me to show you a few 8-bar chord progression templates that use modal interchangeably effectively?" Okay, yeah. Yes, please. I'm very interested in seeing what you find. Hopefully you guys are interested in this. I know this is like deep dive, but to me, like this is what I like to do. Okay. So he's giving me some chord progressions. Now, okay, so I don't see anything where he's like, "Oh, well, um, this is from this song or this is from that song." Okay, so we have an R&B progression. Number one, D major with borrowed Dorian feel. Okay, and so this is the actual chord progression right here, right? Um, and he's actually analyzing it. Here's another R&B chord progression. Um, and this is in F minor with a borrowed chord from F major. So this is like a parallel. Okay, this is D major to D Dorian. This is not a parallel. Okay, this is just a, this is called, this is what people call chord changing or chord borrowing. This is more of intermodal interchange. Okay, because when you have F minor to F major, you're just borrowing chords. Okay, so if you hear that phrase, that's what they mean. Okay, I'm just borrowing chords. I'm in key of F minor, but I'm borrowing chords from the F major. Whereas the true intermodal, the true modal interchange is like this one. You're in D major, and this is, D Dorian. Okay. Um, and then you could now right here, he only took like one chord, one chord. Here's another one. He just took one chord. Here's another one where he took two chords. He started in A minor and borrowed two chords, one from Aeolian and one from Dorian. So you can actually do that. That's what makes this whole thing fun for jazz musicians, is because for every mode, there is a scale, okay, modal scale. And so you may have the key of C, right? C for C major, keep in mind that there's 7 modes. So that's one key times 7. Okay. So that's 7. And then you got 7 times 12, which is 84 total modes, right? So imagine you have to learn all these modes and then master them and then be able to interchange them in real time. That's jazz. That's the athleticism of jazz. It's the genius of jazz, right? And most people, like in gospel, neo soul, they'll develop a kind of a template that they like, and then they kind of just go with that, right? So over time, what I'll do is I'll just develop a template that I like, because I'm not trying to create jazz. I'm just trying to create templates that I actually like. Okay. Now what I'm going to ask is, I like these. Can we can oh I will say, please create examples where you use a total of 4 chords and you start with a minor key and borrow from its parallel major. Okay, Erica, you'll understand. I know you understand what that means. What I'm asking it is, now it's giving me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chords. Okay, that's probably like 2 bars of just different chords, or maybe I could arrange it different ways, right? But that's way more chords than I want to deal with, right? So I said, look, I like these, but I only want to use 4 chords, and start with a minor key, okay? Because most of hip hop starts with a minor key, but borrow from its parallel major. Parallel major means if I'm in the key of C, then borrow from the key of C minor, as opposed to being in the key of C and its relative minor would be A minor. Okay. Now I'm not going to get into the difference between those two. I just want to tell you, I'm asking it, give me a minor key, and then give me borrow some chords from that key's parallel major. I want 5 examples. Okay, wait. Using our production Okay. Let's see what we get out of this. Okay. So now what it did was, so okay, we're gonna start in key of D minor. We're gonna borrow from D major. Only have 4 chords, right? Um, the chord that it borrowed was D major. Okay. Or D minor, I'm sorry. It gave me another one where it's in the key of D of A minor, and um it borrowed 2 chords from A major. Okay. And it kind of gave it its own little groove or description. It says soulful, lift, mid loop, perfect for R&B hooks, sadness, giving way to light, you know. And then it went from E minor and A minor, E minor and A major. I'm sorry. It borrowed 1 chord from E major, creates a shifting tension, great for hip hop verses or R&B bridges. Okay. Um, so I can do that. Okay. So as you see, so far, I could take these chord progression and use my DAW, right? I can use my DAW and just use these chord progressions. Or I could ask it, okay, take this chord progression here and create a Suno loop prompt. Okay. And it's asking me, would you like me to turn these 4 progressions into an 8-bar Suno loop prompt? Okay. Not gonna do that today. But what I want to just show you in real time is how me and my assistant are developing um, are developing um, our sound together, and it's not based upon just a one-sided conversation. It's a two-sided conversation where I'm using what I know about music, where I'm using my knowledge, and it's using its knowledge and information, and we're developing this music together. So to me, in my head, that's the best way to use um, AI is as a collaboration. I tell people all the time, think about how think about how Iron Man uses Jarvis. Okay. They work together. It's not just Iron Man saying, give me this, or asking Jarvis, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? No, they're working together. So I wanted to show you guys that. My time is up. So I'm going ahead and get out of here because I got a lot of stuff to do. But I'll be back next week. We're going to do more, and you can actually see live what I'm actually doing. Erica, I really, really appreciate you. I wish we could talk more, but I gotta get ready for I gotta shave. I gotta get ready for a private event tomorrow, and it's like I got a bunch of stuff to do, so I gotta cut it now. But you could like always hit me up. You got my information. Just hit me up, and we'll talk. With everybody else, I will see you next week. Come on back. I'm actually going to go through this together, and then we'll eventually get to the point where we'll create some prompts and put it into Suno and see what happens. Okay. All right, this is your boy DJ Mad Scientist. I want to thank everybody who came through today, everybody who listened to this on the radio, everybody on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, please leave comments. I will answer the comments and I will acknowledge you here. So thank you, everybody. I will see you guys next week.